Let's talk about my top 10 favorite books that I have read in 2025. So right next to me, you see these big stack of books, and there are more than 10 books, but that is only because I am talking about a few series that I really love this year. And I am so excited to be making this video because talking about my favorite books is literally my favorite thing in the world. So how perfect is this video? And honestly, my reading year has been very good. I found so many new favorites, and I did not read as many books as the year before. I have read 50 books this year, and last year I have read 80 books, so there is a big difference. But in terms of the quality of the books that I read, I feel like I really know my reading taste right now, and I really know what kind of books that I love and what kind of books I want to pick up. So quality-wise, it was a super good reading year. So let me know down in the comments how many books you've read this year and what was your top favorite book of 2025. I would love to know that. I wrote my list down in my notebook, so let's get into it. And if you like these type of videos, then please consider subscribing to my channel and sticking around. I would love to have you here. And if you have not already done so, then please grab yourself a drink, sit down, relax, and let's get into my top 10 favorite books of 2025. So first up on this list, I have The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, and this is the beautiful Fairy Loot edition. Look at those sprayed edges. It's such a beautiful book. It is so gorgeous. I really love it. I love the pink on it. And obviously, we have the Fairy Loot card right here. And we also have this gorgeous artwork. So beautiful. And then also this book. Look at the naked hardcover of this book. It is so nice. I love this book so much. So I actually picked it up because it was so beautiful. I mean, stop. This is one of the prettiest books I own. This is a young adult book, and it is basically a romance in a Regency era meets fantasy. It is about a competition to marry the heir of the fairy throne. That's actually all I want to say about this, because you need to go into this knowing almost nothing. If you want to know more about it, you can look it up on Goodreads, but all you need to know is that the romance in this is really good. You have the competition. The competition in this book feels a little bit like Trials, because the competition is actually crazy and deadly, and it's just very crazy. And our main character gets help getting through the competition from the prince's brother, so the other prince. He is helping her, and the romance blossoms between these two princes. It's kind of a love triangle, but you have an obvious love interest, if that makes sense. I'm not gonna say obviously who it is or give you any spoilers, but I just think this book is very fun. It was very well done. It kept me at the edge of my seat, and I constantly wanted to continue reading. Our main character was pretty badass and snappy, and I also liked her. There is something about a Regency romance with the yearning, and everything is so like beautiful, and they're all royals in the dresses and the things that they need to do in this world. It is so nice, and it's a really fun story. It's really good for escapism if you just want to be in a different world. It's also going to be a part of a series, and I don't know if the second book is out yet. And the ending of this was absolutely crazy. So if you need a different book to add to your 2026 TBR, then add this one, because it's just really fun, and it is a combination of all of the things that we already love in fantasy romance and also Regency era. So if you like that combination, then definitely pick this book up. Book number 9 is The Crimson Moth and The Rebel Witch. I will talk about these two books together because it's a duology and it basically follows the same story. This book is just a continuation of book 1, so you can read it as a duology. It's very bingeable, very fun. This is about a witch and a witch hunter. And if that doesn't already convince you to read this, then let me tell you that the romance in this, it's so good. This male main character, his name is Gideon, and he is just so... How would I describe him? He is very like smooth. He is a very smooth type of man, and I really love the romance between these two. It's just so much fun. And especially in the second book, you also travel to different parts of the world, and that I really enjoyed that. The books look kind of big, but they are so incredibly bingeable, and it's only a duology, so if you need a good young adult duology with a witch and a witch hunter, then yes, you will enjoy it. Honestly, it's a very popular series, and that is, in my opinion, for a reason. These two books are really good, and I would recommend them to almost everyone because it's just a very fun time with a fun book boyfriend. Book number 8 is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir, and it is a part of an Ember in the Ashes quartet. And that series is just one of my all-time favorite series ever because it is so good, and it's also so different from any other fantasy romance series that you can read. I would not call this fantasy romance. I would call this young adult fantasy with a subplot of romance because there is like a little bit of romance, but the romance that is in there will definitely satisfy you if you usually read romantasy or fantasy romance. This world is basically inspired by ancient Rome, but there is also jinns and jinn magic in this world. And we are following 3 main characters, and you get all 3 of their point of views. And I'm specifically talking about the 3rd book in that series because that is my absolute favorite book. So we are following 2 girls. One of the girls is a general in the army. One of our girls is a spy, and then we have our male main character, and he is also in the army. So those are our 3 characters, and obviously our female main character and our male main character that are in the army already know each other, and along their way they meet our spy because she infiltrates the school where the military are training. And the story just goes from there. I don't want to say too much about it, but if you like that story and that setting, if you like ancient Rome, if you like some kind of brutal school setting with a competition in the first book, then you will really like this series. And like I said, the romance is really a subplot, but that doesn't even matter. Honestly, the story is so good, and the romance that you do get in this series is one of the top tier romances. So good, so incredible. And Sabaa Tahir's writing, it just grips you from the first page and you are not able to put this series down. If you start the series though, prepare to be absolutely obsessed because it's that good. Next up, we have Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. You all know this book. I read this book in January of 2025 and I gave it 4.5 stars. So I didn't give it 5 stars. This book is so popular, and Brimstone, the second book, just came out. What I love about this book is that it is your typical fantasy romance bingeable series, but it is also quite unique. You have Quicksilver, we have an alchemist in this book, and we obviously have Kingfisher, our main character, and he is really a damaged hero, and that's something that I also really like in this story. I also love it that in the first book you kind of get into the world, but you also get to see pretty much of both of the worlds that are in this book. If you've read it, you know. And what I just like, it's a long book, but it's also very much worth it. it. It gives you everything that you like in a fantasy romance series. So honestly, I would say if you like fantasy romance and you just want a new series to pick up, then this is quite a good time to do it actually, because the second book is also out, so you can read the first and second book back to back. Because this is such a popular series, I will not say too much about it. I feel like there is way too much already on BookTok, BookTube. This book is very talked about, so if you want to know more about it, then obviously you can watch certain videos on this topic. But what I would recommend is if you go into this pretty blind and just be there for the ride. Don't have too many high expectations, just enjoy it as another fantasy romance book. And if you like this genre, then this will definitely be up your alley. Next up, I have Heat of the Everflame by Pankel. And basically, this entire series, I am really, really loving this. It is not completed yet. We are still waiting for the fourth and final book in this series. But yeah, if you like slow burn fantasy romance, and I mean slow burn, a lot of tension. It starts from the first book, and then in the third book, you finally get the action between our main characters, and it is everything, honestly. I love this series so much. The political intrigue in this, chef's kiss. Really, it is so, so good. The political intrigue in this. And I specifically am holding the third book in this series because in this book, obviously, it is a chunky book. It is, I feel like it was 830 pages. It is a massive book, but it is so worth it. I read this book so quickly. I feel like I read it in 3 days, and that's really fast for me because it's such a big book. So in this series, if you have not heard of this, we follow our main character DM, and DM is a healer, and she is human. Her mother goes missing at some point, and her mother was the healer of the Descendant King, and the Descendant are like the magical people in this world, and they are basically descended from the gods in this world. So DM decides to take her mother's place as the Descendant King healer, so that she can figure out what happened to her mother, and this is all in the first book, obviously. And in this world, the humans are really lesser than the descendants, so obviously there is some friction there, and our main character DM just wants to figure out what happened to her mother and basically what the descendants did to her mother. When you start the series, you might not like our main character because she's a little bit naive and she makes some questionable choices, but I promise you, stick with it. Read the first book, read the second book. The second book is already really, really good. I gave the first book in this series 3.5 stars, and then the second book 4 stars. No, 4.5 stars. Yes, I gave the second book 4.5 stars, and then this third book 5 stars. This is where it gets absolutely amazing, and you will be obsessed with this series. I promise you, if you pick it up, if you stick around for it, it will be so, so worth it. And I don't know if this is a good time to pick up this series, honestly. If you want to read it, read it. But if you have not started it, maybe wait until the fourth book is out so that you can literally binge this entire series, because that will be amazing. We need to wait, I have no idea how long, for the fourth book in this series to come out, and it's still not announced, so it keeps getting pushed back. Our girl can only hope that we will get the fourth book in this series in 2026. And we have The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillick. This book is everything. I love it so much. I have no idea why it's in 6th place. I just love every single book on this list so much, but this is so, so good and so different from anything that you have ever read, okay? If you love fantasy romance, but you are sick of following the same plot line every single time, pick this up. It is gothic fantasy with a subplot of romance. The romance is with a diviner and a knight. And let me tell you, the knight romances, we need more knight romances. So at the time that I'm filming this, it is the last day of 2025. It's literally December 31st, and yesterday I was just scrolling on my Amazon list and I was scrolling on Goodreads to find romances with a knight because it is so good. Anyway, I've literally been searching the entire internet for books with a knight romance because it is so good and we need more of that. So this book follows, like I said, a diviner, and if you don't know what that is a magical being who can enter someone's dreams. And in this book, that means that she can make predictions on what is going to happen with someone's life based on the dreams that she is seeing for this certain person. So that is basically her role in this kingdom. And like I said, he is a knight. And how that they are going to meet, I don't want to say anything else. I don't want to say anything else about this book. I can explain the entire plot, but I don't want to because you need to figure this out for yourself because it's that good. All you need to know is that we follow, like I said, a diviner. It's very special magic. This world is very gothic. You have these gothic temples where the diviners basically work and live. And then in this world, obviously it's kind of a medieval kingdom because you have knights walking around. And there is also a big mystery in this. And there are also so many fun creatures in this world. We have gargoyles. I don't know if you know what gargoyles are, but they are literally made from stone. And they are living in this world. And there is this side character. Oh, you need to meet him. You need to meet the side character in this book. Because he is everything. If you have not read this book yet, then please put it on your 2026 TBR. And if you're like, this sounds a little bit too weird for me, I don't know if it's gonna be for me, then read Rachel Gillick's duology that starts with One Dark Window because it is just as good as this. Please pick it up in 2026. And if you have any knight romance recommendations for me, please leave them down in the comments because I need more. I really need more. Wait, The Night and the Moth was number 5. Did I say 6? I said 6. Book number 4 on my list is Goldfinch by Raven Kennedy, and this is part of the Plated Prisoner series. I feel like this is book 6 in the series. I cannot tell you anything about this because it's the final book in this series, but I can tell you about this series because it is one of my favorite series of all time. It is a fantasy romance. Definitely a big romance plot, and the romance in this is so good. Okay, so in this book, we follow our female main character, and she is basically kept in a golden cage by King Midas. So it's a King Midas retelling, and King Midas lives in an entire golden palace with a golden cage. And our female main character is being kept in that cage as the pets of this King Midas. It sounds very dark, and it is. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, this is some kind of dark romance in a fantasy world. No, it's not gonna be dark romance. Don't worry, it's not a Stockholm syndrome type of story because our main character, she is gonna get so much character development in this series, and you're basically just following Auren, our main character, on her journey to figure out what is right and what is wrong. And the romance in this, we have our male main character in this entire series, and he is just so amazing. He has very scary powers, and I'm not gonna tell you too much about it. I would also say about this series the same with the Spark of the Everflame series. Read the first book, and if you are like, I don't know if I really like the first book, read the second book anyway, because the first book is really setting up the world, and in my opinion, book 1 could have been book 0.5, because it's literally setting up the story. You do need to read it, it's very important that you read it, but if you are like, I don't know what the hype is about, read book 2, and then let me know what the hype is about, because then you will know. Anyway, if you've read the series, please let me know, because I feel like it's very underrated, and I feel like a lot of people just stop reading this series after book 1, which is very sad, because what is in this series is so good. Political intrigue, amazing characters, amazing romance storyline, amazing found family. Please pick this up if you have not already done so. You already know what this is because you can see the sprayed edges and everyone has read this book. And that is Alchemized by Senlin Yu. This book, oh, it destroyed me. It was so dark and intense and it was everything. This is one of those books that you give 5 stars because it is such a masterpiece. It is so wonderfully done. The way that these storylines are interwoven into each other, it is literally a masterpiece. And if you don't know what Alchemized is about, it is basically a very dark, very huge, large story. And it evolves around a war. So this book was first published as a Hermione fanfiction that is called Manacled. And then the author traditionally published that book and it became Alchemized. And the author basically made this entire new world, a new storyline. But just know that going into it, it is based off a Hermione fanfiction. Honestly, I don't know anything about Harry Potter, so I just picked this book up and you absolutely don't need to know anything about Harry Potter to love this book. It is just such a good book. The romance is a very big part of this book. I also heard a lot of people say that it's not a fantasy romance. I think it is a fantasy romance because the romance is literally the foundation of this story. So you basically follow the humans, and the humans were in this resistance, and then we follow the necromancers, and the necromancers won this war, and we are basically seeing the aftermath of when the villain wins a war, and it is very devastating to see it. It was just very dark and disturbing to read about at times, but it also keeps you on your toes. You really want to finish this book and you just want to see where it's going to go. And also the romance between our 2 main characters. In the beginning, when I was reading this, I was thinking maybe this is going to be too much of a dark romance and I cannot handle that. And it was very, very dark at parts. There was one scene that almost made me stop reading it, but I am so happy that I stuck with this book and that I finished it because it is so, so good. What makes this book so amazing is it is divided in different parts, and every part of this book follows a different timeline after the war and during the war, so you get to see literally everything and why everything is the way that it is. So if you are ready to read a very emotional, very impactful, very big book, then yes, pick this up. It will be worth your time 100%. I have no idea how, but I don't own my second favorite book of 2025. I really need to buy it, but I've read every single book on my Kindle and I just enjoyed it so, so much. And that is the Diswoven Kingdom series by Tahira Malfi, especially the 4th book that came out this year, Every Spiral of Fate. That book, it was so, so good. I don't hear many people talk about this, and I think that it really deserves way more hype because I love it so, so much. It is so good. If you like young adult fantasy romance that is very character driven, so it's literally all about our characters and about our found family, then this is definitely a series for you. It also has Jinn magic because we are following our main character and we know when we start the book that she is the heir of this Jinn kingdom and she is hiding in plain sight as a servant. We also have 2 different kingdoms in this world. We are following the prince of one of our kingdoms and we are following the king of the other kingdom. And all our characters are going to meet at some point and they are going to form the most amazing found family somehow. I cannot tell you too much about it, but it is just so good, and especially if you like series that are very character based. The dynamic between all of them, like I said, if you love romance, if you love character development, if you love relationships that our characters will have throughout this series, then you will definitely love this series. Okay, then the moment that everyone has been waiting for. My favorite book of 2025, none other than Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I love this. We have Kai Azer in this. Do I need to say any more? It is so good. Okay, I know that this series has mixed opinions. Everyone, literally everyone, loves the first book in this series. We are following Peyton Gray, and she is gonna enter some trials. She's basically a human who has absolutely no powers, and she is going to compete against all of these magical people who have crazy powers. And this is set in a world where basically the powerless people are less than the people who have magical abilities. The romance in this book is between our female main character Peyton and our two princes. Oh, it is so good. You guys already know this book is so popular, and it's popular for a reason. It is so incredible. What you can notice in this book is that Lauren Roberts is such a big fan of this genre. She reached this genre herself, and she just wanted to write exactly what she loves to read, and that she did. It's literally that. And she basically wrote this book when she was 18 and decided to publish it, and then it took off. It's amazing. She just wrote it because she loves the genre, and you can really feel that between these pages. The quotes in this, the things that Kai says to Peyton. Yes, it is amazing. Oh, and if you are an audiobook girl, listen to this audiobook. This voice. Listen to this audiobook. The audiobook is so good. The male narrator that does this audiobook. Thank me later. You need to listen to that. So all of the other books obviously are the same series. Powerless was actually my favorite. I also absolutely loved Reckless, and a lot of people didn't like Reckless because Reckless, they said, yeah, it's a middle book, it's very fillery, nothing happens, everything happens. And again, if you love character-driven stories, if you love romance, this is basically a romance book. Second book is basically a romance book, and people are not liking it because the entire political story is basically put on the backseat to give the romance all of the attention. And I'm here for it. I love this book. I absolutely ate it up. I loved it. Maybe just as much as Powerless. I don't know. Powerless was just the first and my favorite, I think. And then we have Fearless. And this book is for all of our plot-heavy girlies. For all of the girlies who love crazy plot twists. Basically, this book was just crazy. And I loved it. And I love our characters. And when it was over, I was staring at a wall for an hour. I would recommend this series to literally anyone. Even if you don't read fantasy romance, then try this. It is so good. It's very bingeable. It's very understandable. And the romance is just everything that you need. If you pick up any books that I have talked about in this video, then please make it be this one if you have not already done so. Read it and let me know down in the comments what you thought of it, because it's so good. Oh, and also comment down below your favorite quote from Kai Azer, because I just want to reread this book basically. So those were all of my favorite books that I've read in 2025. If you like this video, then please consider sticking around, subscribing to my channel to see more of these type of videos. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.